YouTube as well.
Streaming live from YouTube. Do you not want to be using the links?
I'll be using the links.
I don't say YouTube.
The one I'm doing on Google Meet will be placed on YouTube. So kindly go to YouTube and send me the link again on WhatsApp.
Which of the links?
So this be extra phone.
This website. When I made the connecting.
No, I don't need this one.
Oh.
This one, what's update of? Manama dito.
Yeah.
No.
See for them, I even charge him before.
All right. So, welcome to today's training session. We are at day 5, and day 5 we are looking at a responsive web design, and then we are also looking at building a company or business website. So when we talk about responsive web design, I'll be going according to this slide over here, and we are going through these phases. We'll do a little intro about responsive design. We'll do the planning, the contents, the design, build, and then we'll look at what we'll do after building. So about the rise of mobile. So it used to be only personal computers all over the place. So most of the websites that were built initially were having the same size of screens, and it didn't matter how you wrote the code. All that matters was that it can be viewed from a personal computer. And the rise of mobile came not long ago, and so if there is something you can access online using your mobile phone, there will be no need for you to access it online using your laptop. So it got to a point where half of the searches are mobile, and some websites had to move from being viewed on a personal computer to focusing more on how their website is being viewed on a mobile device. When we say responsive, what is responsive? Responsive is that something is able to adjust, or something is able to adapt to a change in size or orientation of anything at all. So in regards to devices, we are looking at, let's say your device was 30 by 30 inches and another person's device is 5 by 5 inches. 30 by 30 inches has a size the content you display on a 30 by 30 will have a different size from the content you will display on a 5 by 5. Hence, you have to make sure your website is responsive. When we open this website here, when you open this website over here on an iPhone SE, and we have iPhone XR, this is how we look on an iPhone XR. We also have iPad mini, this is how it will look on an iPad mini, right, with all the photo and everything. So Surface Pro, so the different dimensions of each device, you see this is the dimension of the Surface Pro. We have 912 by 1368. So this is how it will look on a Surface Pro, and that is what we mean by responsive design. So you see, when I enlarge it, the content also changes as I keep it. So that is all about responsive design. There are three things we need to look at when we are building responsive websites. Number one is flexible grid-based layout. Grid-based, flexible, I'm sure it explains itself, but let me explain the grid-based. Grid-based is, this is a grid, what we see here. This is also another grid. When you come here, this is another grid. So for it to be grid-based, we mean that build your website in boxes, so that when you want to make it look good on a smaller device, all you have to do is bring one box below the other or on top of one another to make it responsive. That is the grid based. And flexible images and media, what it means is that if you are displaying your image or a media on a 2.6, here we have 2.628 by 1596. It should be different from displaying it on a Pixel 5, which is 393 by 851. So that is what we mean by flexible images and media. And then the last thing we will do is media queries. So media queries is like a dimension that we set in our code, that if the screen size is within this range, then we write some CSS properties for our website to be displayed within that range. What are some strengths of responsive design? Some strength is that it is device agnostic, and the next strength is that it is easy to build, not plan. Yes, why is it easy to build? You focus on, it is easy to build because most of the devices we have are in ranges, and so we write the code for it to on one particular device, and it is, the dimensions are almost the same as some other devices that we would like to build our website on, or would like users are likely to view our website on. And then what are some of the weaknesses? The weakness would be the bandwidth and also the user experience. Bandwidth, the amount of information that can be carried through once we are displaying it on the mobile devices, and then the overall management of the website. It becomes a very weak point when you are doing responsive design. Now, responsive mobile and then apps, each has their place, and then responsive is not the only solution, and responsive is not a perfect base. Yes, let me explain this quickly. Each has their place. When you want your website to be responsive, you want it to be displayed on multiple devices, and it should respond to the size of the devices. When we're talking about mobile, we are building our websites, our apps to be strictly on mobile, and that is the mobile apps. And when we talk about desktop apps, we are also building our website to be fitting on the desktops. So it is based on the device that we are building our website. This says the future is rare, such a tempting solution. You never have to touch the server. Yeah. So You don't have to touch your server to make your website responsive. You have to do everything in your browser. Make sure when you shrink the browser, your website is responding to the size of your browser. So modern techniques, we are seeing here that it is 65% planning and testing, and it is 35% design and content. And it is 5% build. Why are these so? Because when you look at the especially in this age, where we have curved screens, we have fold, we have flip and all that, so devices are becoming like the sizes are really changing and the forms that they come with. So you really need to do more planning and testing before you actually come and design and the kind of content. Then you just use 5% of the time to build, because when we say you are building, it means you have everything planned out, and then you know the size you give for each content you are trying to display. Now the planning. Mostly I had to learn this the hard way. Listen to me. I used to build websites from, even though I still do, but I got this idea of mobile first not long ago, and I really liked it in the sense that you plan for small and then you expand for large. The reason being that I found it very lazy. For me, I found it, let me say this here, my own personal story, I found it very lazy doing responsive design. And I never knew the reason why I found it very lazy doing responsive design was just the mere fact that I built for bigger screens first. Then I'll come and sit down and build for smaller screens. So I'll build something to be okay on the laptop. Now I have to come and sit down, decrease the size for it to fit on the phone. But look at it the other way around. If you build these small elements to fit on a smaller device, you add some pixels and it fits on the next bigger device. You add some more pixels and then you allow it to fit on any other bigger device that may come. So restrict the sizes from the beginning, and then as you go forward you expand it so that it will fit the larger devices. Now, what do we mean by prototyping? Prototyping, we set some loose wireframes, and by loose wireframes we mean that you, in UI, make sure you are directing those screens and all those views that you want to get, you are directing them loosely, and then make sure you also test the flow early to see that device is really responsive. Now we also talk about breakpoints, and I mean breakpoint is based on content and not devices. So when the content is this, we should break it at this point so that it will fit on that device. So it doesn't have to be the device. The device will reduce in size. You have to break the contents to fit on the device. So the device will not decrease in size to fit your content. You have to fit your content on the device. And it should also be UX consistently. The experience that the user will get on a laptop, you also make sure it is consistent with the experience that the user will get on a mobile devices. Don't make it look like your website is very good when people are using it on a laptop, and when they switch to a mobile device then it becomes hell for them. Right? So that's not what you want to do. You also have to test frequently. You don't have to make assumptions when you are doing responsive design. Test frequently to see, at this size did my breakpoints happen to my content. You have to be checking all those things to see if at certain points your website to all the kinds of devices that will be displayed on. Now the content. Simple content. It says small screen does not always mean simple content. Small screen does not always mean simple content. Here, what we mean is that the fact that you're having a small screen doesn't mean you should have simple content. But when you get a large screen, then you put some complex. No. If those content are needed for a good user experience and you have a small screen, you still have to find a way of putting them on that small screen. It doesn't mean you are putting the content on a mobile device, so you should remove some of the things from it, even though you think it might be needed. That will lead us back to the UX consistency. It will be very inconsistent that what website is this? I viewed this website on a laptop and it is giving me some features, but when I came back to view it on a mobile device, it is giving me the features and it is not giving me some. And then the next thing is to write wisely. You make sure you fold the contents to fit on a smaller device. Now we talk about design. You design small, like we said, we design for small screen first. That is in terms of UI UX, and then when you are also coding, you code for small screens first. Good. This is very important. You maintain the visual hierarchy for all screen sizes. If a button on your screen let me share my entire browser and then so that I can show some of the things. Okay, I think you can see the other home pages now, right? I think you can see the other home pages now. Can you see my website?
Your what? Come on.
Can you see my website now? My website. Can you see my website now? All right, sure. So I think those on YouTube can see as well as those on Google Meet. So I'll just move on to
YouTube.
those on Meet. Can you see my my website? Those on Google Meet. I want to be sure before I move on.
Let me try.
Where is that from? Alright, sorry, we'll move on quickly. I need to be sure you are seeing what I'm showing you before I'll. All right, yeah. So those on Google Meet can now see my screen. So let's continue. I was saying something about visual hierarchy. So here, what I mean is that if you check from this website, this headline that I gave here, it is bigger than the description I gave here. So you need to make sure that when I view it on a smaller device as well, this is still bigger than this, right? Yeah. So you need to show that hierarchy. If you look at this blog post, the title is bigger than the date and the no comment, and it is also bigger than this and the read more. So you need to be showing all those visual hierarchy. The one that is big on a bigger device, when it comes to a smaller device, it should also be big. You shouldn't have a situation whereby this one was bigger than this, and when you went to a smaller device, this one was rather bigger than this. So you need to be checking all those things. Now the next thing is the content images. Simply shrinking your images may not be ideal. It may not be ideal. Why are we saying so? You need to make sure you set the breakpoint that at this point this image should be viewed at this level, and that will help, because if you don't do that your image shrinking will not be the best for you. So you just make sure you set those breakpoints that on this screen the image should have this height and this width. Right? Don't go and shrink it by using a percentage, like at this point it should be this percent and this point should be this percent. No. Now in building, we'll do this tomorrow, but let me talk about it since it has popped up in my slide. By the way, these are not my slides. So frameworks, you may need to roll your own, but learn from others and test frequently. We have some frameworks we'll talk about tomorrow, that is Bootstrap as well as Tailwind CSS. That will help us in responsive design. So that's what frameworks help us to do. They help us to build websites that will fit on multiple devices at a time. Should your CSS be overlapping or should be contained? And then we also sorry. Will you use JavaScript or conditional comments? We'll answer all these questions when we start building. Responsive, especially with tables. This is very special again. Some techniques look cool when you are building responsive websites, but be aware of the users. Let's say you have a table. Let me see if I can get a simple table. Let me see an Excel table, just an Excel table. I'm getting tables and kitchen tables and all. Excel. Okay, I have this table here. So let's say you have this table and you want to make it responsive. It is either, you see, what did the slide say? Some techniques look cool, but be aware of the users. You just display this table and you make sure all these ones are appearing, but you intend bringing the birthday behind the purchase ID. I don't know if you can see my screen. You intend building this and you want to bring this one, birthday behind the purchase ID. Let me see if I can fully. You want to bring this birthday behind the purchase. It might not be ideal. But instead, what you can do is that, I don't know, there was one way this was really depicted is during COVID-19, the websites that gave us the COVID-19 data. I think, let me see if I can still find it, worldometers.info, yes. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. So when these websites came about, I think there was a table on it that when you open the table, you really, yes, this is what I'm talking about. So when you start scrolling, you can see that the headings of the table, it will stick at the top. Then you can scroll through anytime to be able to see. So you pick the country, you see the total cases, and you scroll through anytime. And it's the same thing when you open it on a mobile device. So we are talking about responsive design here. So when you view by country, you get a similar experience with that. So that's what I'm trying to say here. If it is tables, be very conscious of what you are displaying on the table and how you want it to display. And that's what they mean by have the users in mind. So you don't just go about displaying anything because, like I said, because it is a smaller device, you want to display it in a simple format and you end up displaying just anything, right? Now, what is the next thing? Responsive media. There are so many solutions, so do your research. Okay, it seems this slide is speaking for me, right? This is supposed to be a free training, so I'm trying my best to make it look not to make it look free, but to make it look premium as possible. I I might as well go through some of these things with you. So they are saying there is a website called CSS Tricks. So they have given you this website, CSS Tricks. Now, what do we do? A complete guide to Flexbox. So you go there and then you see a whole lot of guides on how to build your web, make it responsive, make this. You want to float something, you want to do Flexbox, media queries, all those things that you can do with CSS. A complete guide to dark mode on the web. I think I need this. Personally, I think I need this. I've not been able to do some complete dark mode, so I think I need to go through this guide, this particular one. So you have to search. I'm only here to set the path for you on becoming a web developer. So you have to search on your own to understand how you can make this, make your website responsive for it to be able to fit on all devices that we have. So we'll quickly wrap up. Let's look at after building. Now, after building, you document your design and code for others that come after. Good. So you built, you know what you built. You know what you built. What about the others that will come after you? You need to make sure you show them how you built this. So there'll be the need for a style guide. So document that design. Show them this is how you made this responsive on this device. Show them again how you made, if it is code, give comments, give some guides, like the dimensions, put them, let them see, so that anytime anybody at all picks your code, the person will be able to understand responsive design. And that is what we mean by style guides. There should be guides that will these are guides that will help others who will come after you. So they are very, 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 very important. Now, you review. The job is never done. I think I like this slides. After going through all this responsive design, if you are designing using Figma or you are coding using HTML and CSS, you review. Go back and see how you wrote the code, review the code first of all, and then come back to review the design and see that if it is working perfectly on as intended on those devices, just like you planned. It may not be perfect, but just as you planned. Now, a wrap. Responsive should be the base. You may still need REST or mobile. The build is only part of the process. Good. So mostly we think that, just like I started, someone was thinking like 43 minutes and someone was thinking maybe I'll just start coding. No. If I'm to take you through responsive design, this is the best I can do for you. Me coding is not making a responsive website. The knowledge of what a responsive website is what you need. So that is what the third point is saying, that building or coding is only a part of the process. It is not the entire process. Building a responsive website is part of the process. Planning, designing, review, what you will do after building is also part of the process. In fact, building is some percentage of the process. And then mobile first at every stage, just like they stated earlier. And I also gave you my personal experience with making responsive websites, that when you build from mobile, you add some pixels and you are heading to the next device, which is a tablet. We are yet to discover how we will build it for Galaxy Fold and Galaxy Flip. But for now, mobile first at every stage. So at every stage of your responsive design process, you do the mobile first. And then you test at every stage. At the planning stage, you test it. After that, you also test to see if all the other things are working for you. Yes. So this will be it for the responsive design, and it might as well be close to the end of what we intended to do for today. But there are some few things I want to address over here before we see if we can do the next thing tomorrow. I know on the guide, or let me say the schedule that I posted, we are supposed to do responsive design with company and business websites, but we can't continue the company and business website if we have not submitted our assignment, because in as much as this is free, I don't have to go through it just like that. I need to make sure I am doing the right thing for all of us. So let me take this opportunity to let you know I know why I'm doing this for free, and I don't have anything to hook you. But if I'm not getting any feedback from as to whether we are doing the assignment or the project, then we might not as well have a successful training. So maybe I may have to end here, but let's do well to build. The assignment was pretty simple. Let me see if I can open it here. It is very important. In as much as this training is free, it doesn't mean I should just rush you through anything. No, let's pay attention, and then let's see how we can get the best out of this. There is a reason for this assignment. It is opening now. The assignment is simple. From the WordPress that we did from the beginning, create 5 categories and 4 posts under each of them. Try adding images. These ones are optional. Try creating some categories. These ones are also optional. Then the first project is to build a blog website using Ocean WP as a theme and Contact Form 7 as one of the plugins. And I've showed all these things in the previous tutorials. And there are tons of tutorials online you can find how to do this. I am only here for you to get access so that we can all build these things we are trying to build. So you make sure you go through this assignment as well as the first project. I'll put a form for you to send me some screenshots of what you have done. Later in the evening today as well, we might go through some Q&A sessions on the WhatsApp platform so that I can be able to answer things. So if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer them. So I'll let you guys know what will be next for us. But for now, just make sure you go through this process by creating 5 categories and 4 posts for each of them. And I haven't paused the WordPress. As for the WordPress, it is very, very, very easy, but we don't have time. It should take us more than the 7 days to finish this. But I'm trying to make sure you know the relevant parts, and I'm doing all this for free. So the only thing on your part is to create these 5 categories and under 4 posts. And in fact, I may even have to decide that, look, until we will just have to go through the 7 days of the free tutorials and still end it. But until you create these 5 categories and 4 posts under each of them, in as much as it is free, I don't have to just do anything. So until you create these 5 categories and 4 posts under each of them, and then until you also try building a blog website and you give me your feedback and all that, I may have to discontinue with some of us on the page and continue with the people who are interested in learning this, especially since I'm doing this for free. And maybe when I start doing paid sessions, I'm sure those who like to learn it will then join me. But for now, the reason why for today like this, I was supposed to do a company website and a business website. And the moment I do this company and business website, it means you can literally make a company website or business website for anybody and actually charge them. Meanwhile, I am doing this training for free. So simply make sure you go. In fact, I think I have to go that route. If you are able to create these 5 categories and 4 posts under each of them, when I send the link, you submit your screenshot. Me na, I will gather some of you who are interested in this and then go in depth with you. I don't know. So if you are able to do this, personally, maybe I have to always like it has always been my that since the fingers are not equal, there might be people who are interested and would like to learn. So let me give those people the benefit of the doubt that I said I'll do this for free. Yeah, truly, I'm doing this for free. So I should let those who are interested benefit more than those who are not interested. So once you're able to complete these 5 categories and these 4 posts, when I send the link, you just join me on there. I'll take you through some free sessions and you can be able to build websites for companies here in Ghana, and I will take you through the business aspect of it. And these are all premium things I'm coming up with. Alright, after this training, 7-day training, I might move to building other websites where I will do. So when I am done with this tutorial, I will do some other aspect like managing the business of having a web development company, that you are building websites with WordPress for businesses and then getting some. That will be it for today. I'm still waiting for this assignment and this first project, and until we are done with this assignment and this first project, my brother, my sister, we are not going to do that company and business website, and we are not going to do. Yesterday we were supposed to build landing pages and blog websites. These two I can use in a matter of 3 to 4 hours by showing you everything from scratch to the end. And remember, let me stress on the free. And then tomorrow we are looking at web development frameworks as well as a music and a movies website, but it will still depend on the response I'll get from the assignment and the project. So I might have to move the building landing pages, the company and the movies. Imagine having a website where people can upload their music and their movies. You can upload movies and then music. You can actually charge them for uploading their music and all that. And then the last day, which will be Saturday, day 7, we'll do a project showcase. And the projects now you are not done. How can we showcase? But I'm sure we'll have some interested people who would like to showcase the project of what they have done throughout these 7 days. So that will be it for today. We are almost close to an hour. For those who joined, if you have any question in the next 2 minutes, you may unmute yourself, raise your hand in the Google Meet session, and I'll allow you to ask your questions. If you have any other thing to say, let me know in the next 5 seconds. No one raised his hand, then I'll quickly say what I have to say for the last time, and then we'll end it. So if anyone has anything to say in the Google Meet, you either raise your hand, you type it in the chat. Let me also check YouTube. If you have anything to say, you just leave a chat in there, and then I'll come and respond. Yeah, so on the Google Meet, anyone? Yo, okay. That's the way we like it. No one. Oh, okay, Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan. Michael Kote. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening. You say what?
I say the previous
I know they hear you well. Oh.
It was about the work that the other day that's what you were doing. My network was not that very clear.
Yes. Okay, let me address that as well. Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much. You brought this up. So, with regards to the previous videos on the YouTube channel, please, for now, I need to cut out some parts and then see how I can upload a better version on YouTube. So for now, kindly kindly search, do search online on how you can set those things up, and then do the assignment. I will be dropping some free resources or some guides on the WhatsApp platform for you to go through and set it up. In the meantime, I need to complete these tutorials before I can work on them and then upload them. I need to cut out some parts from it. I need to check the whole video before I can upload a better version on the YouTube. So please bear with me
But
on that.
I just wanted to know, the WordPress, is it also like the app store on your laptop? Or you have to create an account?
No, the WordPress, you don't have to create an account. When you go to wordpress.org, then you download the WordPress. It's a free version, this one. This one. Then you click on Get WordPress, then you download it.
I'm not seeing your screen.
Can you see it now?
I'm coming. Hold it. No. Still no. I'm just seeing your logo.
Hey, which logo?
Your name.
Check from the and I'm going to check it.
Oh, I'm on WordPress. I have a device here giving me feedback, and I'm on WordPress website, wordpress.org.
Oh, okay. So it's let's say when you go to WordPress, it's an app you can download and use.
It's not an app. You have to download the files. You have to download the files. So when you download the files, then you install it locally on your computer. Then you can start building. I will quickly send you some guides, and then we'll go through and all that. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So that will be it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow.